Today's lesson is about attributed blocks. Let's go ahead and start a new drawing. I'm going to go ahead and get my workspace all set up here. Today I'll also be turning off my UCS icon. I'm going to begin by drawing a circle at the origin with a radius of 0.5. Okay, here's my circle. What I want to do is create a block that will display a number inside this circle. But each instance of the block should have a different number. I don't want to have to explode the block to make this happen. So what I'm going to do is, instead of using text, I'm going to use what's known as an attribute. The command is started by typing ATT, enter. We get the attribute definition dialog box. I'm not going to do very much in this dialog box this time. What I am going to do is go ahead and allow the insertion point to be at 0, 0. I'm going to lock the position. I'm going to change the justification to middle center and text height to 0.25. Now these three settings at the top have to be included. For the tag, I'm going to put in number, all caps. For the prompt, I'm going to put in type a number. And the default value is going to be the number sign. When I click OK, that attribute now is displayed right at the origin. This is the 0, 0 point. It shares the center point with my circle. Don't worry about the fact that it doesn't fit nicely, because it's never going to say number. So this is the object. I'm going to go ahead and make a block out of this. Select those two objects, B, enter. I'm going to call it number attributed block. Very simple. The base point is going to stay at 0, 0. These objects will be deleted from the screen as they are made. I will not allow this block to be exploded. When I click OK, the block disappears. I'm now ready to insert this block. I enter. It's already loaded onto my list. I'm going to go ahead and insert this block with my point specified on screen. I do not need the block to rotate or scale. Click OK. And here we see there's the block. I'm going to zoom out just a hair. I'm going to go ahead and place this block down, and as soon as I do, it will ask me a question. Type a number. I'm going to type the number 2. OK. And we can see that circle is now on my screen with the number 2 inside it. Now, you could have drawn a circle, type the number 2. But what I'm trying to do is create a standardized format to insert that number. If I type I, enter again, I'm again allowed to insert another instance of this block. I click OK. It asks me for a new number. This time I'll type 3. Click OK. And I can see I've got another instance of it with the number 3 inside it. I could continue doing this. Now I've got the numbers 2, 3, and 4. Now here's the thing. These are blocks, all 3 of them. There are only 3 objects on my screen. And you'll notice they are all the same name. Open this up. They all share the same name. These are actually the same object. They just have different attributes to that object. What I'd like to do now is make a slightly more complex attributed block. Zoom out, pan across where I can work in a different area. I'll go ahead and minimize this as well. I'd like to make an attributed object that has two attributes in it. So this time I'm going to make one that's a room name and a square foot size. So here we go. I'm going to start off by typing ATT enter, and the tag is going to be name. The prompt is going to be room name. The default value is going to be x, 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 5 x's. The justification we will change from middle center, we'll make it instead bottom center. The text height is going to be 3 over 32. Position remains locked. Specification point will be 0, 0. I'm going to click OK. We can see it appeared there at the origin. Now I'm going to make another attribute, ATT enter. This one is going to say size. I'll say room size. We can't have spaces in the tag, so I'm going to use an underscore. Room underscore size. The prompt is going to be square feet. The default value is going to be number, 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 number. This one is going to be aligned below previous attribute definition. And I click OK. And we can see we end up with this. So what I need to do now is I'm going to make a block out of these objects. I'm going to go ahead and select them. B, enter. We're going to call this one room tag. And I'm going to go ahead and leave the point at 0, 0. There are two objects selected. We will not allow them to explode. I'm going to click OK. Now to insert this, I enter. And we're going to click OK. And we can see here is our room tag now following us around. When I click down, it will ask me for the two questions, the square feet and the room name. We'll say this is 180 square feet, and we will call it a bedroom. And we can see that now we have a tag here. If I had an entire plan to label, then I could simply do this again. And then we could have next to it, we could have 120 square feet closet. So one thing I'm not very crazy about is the fact that when I do the insertion, I'm asked for the square footage first and the room name second. In order to change this, I need to edit the block. So I'm going to go ahead and select the block. I'm going to go into the block editor. I can select the block in the block editor. After it's selected, then I can right click on it. And there is an option to change the order of the attributes. Once that's done, I can close the block editor. Be careful not to close the wrong thing. If you close this X here, you will close the file. And worse, if you close the X in the upper corner, you'll close AutoCAD. It often won't save your work. So you want to make sure to use the button in the ribbon. It will prompt you, do you want to save the changes that you've made to the room tag? You want to click yes. Now if I insert a third block, it will ask me the room name first. And the size second. Again, all three of these objects are exactly the same block. They simply have different definitions. We can see they're all called a room tag. You're going to be using this same trick to make the title block entries. And this will allow us to insert a title block change the values for the text without having to explode the title block to do so.